Let's take a look at some not so great, objectively bad films from the end of the 20th century that you have forgot about.
Me, isn't it obvious? I'm gonna be the bad guy.
For this, we're going to be considering commercial success, critical success, and its overall legacy, if there's one.
Thank you.
And without further ado, 3 films from 1999 that are cinematic questionables. First up, The Astronaut's Wife. This film is so 90s it hurts. Take a story that has already been told in the past, put it in space, and call it a day. That's what this film is. But if we put aside the fact that this film is a blatant Rosemary's Baby ripoff, but in space, there's still not a ton of redeeming qualities. There's blonde Johnny Depp, cringe dialogue, painfully awkward love scenes, and pacing and editing that makes the film difficult to follow at times. To top this, the film was a commercial failure, making less than $20 million on a $75 million budget. Critics also tore the film apart with its slow pacing and less than intriguing plot. As far as a legacy goes, this film doesn't have much. It's definitely something that would only be watched for nostalgic reasons or if you were a huge Johnny Depp or Charlize Theron fan. Next up, Wing Commander. To be honest, I don't even know why this film exists. Fox should have just took the budget for this and invested it into Never Been Kissed or Fight Club or something. The cinematography is wretched, the script is just putrid, and the CGI looks like it was done in 2 weeks. On top of this, there's no chemistry between most of the characters in the film. The performances are very flat, two-dimensional, no real growth to be honest. It doesn't help that this film was also a commercial failure, making only $11 million on a $30 million budget. And that $11 million mostly came from people wanting to watch the Phantom Menace trailer and leave before the film even started. And for the most part, the critics agreed with the fans, with the film holding a lovely 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. That being said, this film does have a little bit of a legacy. This film was an adaptation of the video game Wing Commander, and was even directed by the game's creator, Chris Roberts. Because of this, it can be said that there is a cult following for this film. This film is a guilty pleasure for many, and seemingly is justifiable.
Give me a shoot!
Lastly, Dudley Do-Right. To be honest, the only word I could think to describe this film is just what.
Yes, master. I said without your tongue.
What was Universal thinking to make such an absolute just ugh of a film? So much talent is wasted in this film. Brendan Fraser, Sarah Jessica Parker, Alfred Molina, Eric Idle. Actors who, if given the right script and the right creative freedom, can create some of the most unique and great characters. But instead, we get a Dudley Do-Right that looks nothing like the original cartoon, a Nell who has no interest in Dudley, and dialogue that ties them together in a way that is comedic but not in the way it should be. The jokes fall flat, the acting just isn't there, and it just seems as if everybody in this film was just wanting an easy payday. Commercially, this film tanked, not even making $10 million on a $70 million budget, and of course critics absolutely ripped it apart. But that being said, if you were under the age of 5 when you saw this film, you were probably entertained. This film does have a little bit of a legacy in the fact that it does have some nostalgia factor. This is a Brendan Fraser film that got buried under the radar of The Mummy, but to many Brendan Fraser fans, this film has a soft spot in their heart, as he took the film for a more personal reason, his Canadian ancestry, so the film really wasn't much of a creative outlet for him to begin with. Wrapping things up, the overview of these films have been pretty critical. That being said, that's not necessarily the point of this. The point is to really just go back in time and examine these films for what they really are. Not to prove their bad title or to justify that they're forgotten. It's really just to open up that portal of nostalgia, regardless of the outcome.
You stood by me, I'm gonna stand by you.